Anti-government protests entered their second day with low turnouts and ghostly towns, with the country seemingly getting back to normal. Tonight we will take a look at the state of the country and what led to these protests. Our political affairs reporter sheds light on the genesis of it all. Here are the details.
Calls to lower the cost of living have become a song in every succeeding government. Presidential hopefuls promise Kenyans the heaven they can attain for them once elected into office, only for them to turn back down on their promises. Kenya is in the throes of political division, with conversations vacating the real issues away from Kenyans to politicians having smackdowns of supremacy. So why are we here? And what are Kenyans asking for? It has been 10 months since President Ruto and his deputy Gachagua took the reins of power. It has also been 10 months of perennial demonstrations from the opposition. The anti-government protests that began on March 20th, 2023 to condemn the high cost of living, election irregularities, reconstitution of IEBC and the reinstatement of the Cherera 4 has seen the opposition calling and suspending protests several times now, culminating in the current stalemate witnessed between the two political giants in the country. President Ruto, who was a key critic of his former boss and President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, has himself come under fire for failing to deliver on the flamboyant promises he made to the people during his campaign period.
The people and the economy of Kenya. Kwa hii taxes wanaongeza usiku na mchana.
I think there are 15 different taxes on fuel. And I think it's time we relooked at how else do we raise revenue.
Ile ya kilo 6 mnanunua 2,500, 2,800, tutaishukisha chini mpaka shilingi 500 ama 300.
The opposition has also thoroughly failed to cover Wanjiku from the excesses of the government as legislators jumped ship to join the government in the name of seeking development funds. In addition, despite the elections being ruled out as free and fair by foreign observers, the opposition has insisted that their supporters go to the streets over their inability to concede defeat.
As Kenyans know, we disputed the 2022 election results declared by the then IEBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati.
Citing bad faith from their counterparts in the government, Azimio la Umoja removed themselves from participating in the bipartisan talks that were meant to address the cost of living, among other issues. In this light, and as the historic day of Sabasaba approached, Azimio la Umoja party leader Raila Odinga declared that he would be leading the country in a protest that he termed the third liberation of Kenya.
Mwezi wa saba tutaenda katika Mkunji.
The president and his Kenya Kwanza allies have so far maintained hard lines against protests in the country, recently suggesting and presenting petitions to the courts that the provision by the constitution be revised. How did we get here? Has the political class lost sight of the issues raised? And has democracy been left in the hands of a select few? The Constitution of Kenya has provided that every person has the right, peaceably and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities. The country has been treated to images of running battles between the police and the public over the past few days. Cases of unlawful arrests, excessive force, flying rocks, and live bullets becoming the order of the day on demonstrations that are quote-unquote peaceful. Where is the right to protest? What is the definition of peaceful protests, and when do the police draw the line between protecting life and property? More lives are lost in the protests than property, as witnessed in the recent past, where more than 30 lives have been lost to police bullets. That's according to Amnesty International report carried out between March and July 2023. Research findings have shown that 51% of Kenyans believe that the government has done nothing ever since they took the reins of power. The sentiments fueled by the high cost of living, despite the government's plea for more time to deliver.
If you're going to deliver in 3 years, there must be progressive improvement. So we cannot say we evaluate them or Kenyans give them up to the third year. We are saying, I think Kenyans are saying, you've been in power for 10 months. In another few months, you'll have been in power for a year. What are the low-hanging fruits that you've delivered for Kenyans?
In the midst of the chaos and terror, The top political figures have remained adamant about relieving the country from the thick cloud of tension and restoring it back to its feet. The president and his allies have set their stand. Raila Odinga has also held on to the rope.
Sasa wajue huyu rais wetu ni chuma ya zamani. Ni chuma ya zamani, si chuma ya zamani.
Who will be the voice of reason in this delicate time? And will the country have to bend for the political class to get their way? Tracy Ochieng reporting for JBS News.